Now, many of you are likely set on a Quest 2 as your first VR headset, and many of you have likely already purchased a Quest 2, yet the questions that myself and many other VR channels are asked, more than questions Mark Zuckerberg is asked in court, is
what VR headset should I buy? Plaza G Thip, tell me my friend please, what VR headset? Quest 2 bad because Mark Zuckerberg's nuts.
So today I'm ranking every single VR headset, and by every single, I mean every currently relevant VR headset. If I was to talk about every single VR headset ever, including the disaster that is the Amazon.com, Wish.com, eBay Supremo VR headset lineup in this video, it would be 2 hours fucking long. It also means that newer and more niche headsets like the Vario will be excluded from this ranking because I can't fairly rank them due to their recent releases. That said, I am going to include the X-Tal because, I mean, come on, look at this fucking thing. Also, I'm not going to be including the Quest 1 on this list as it has so clearly been replaced by the Quest 2 due to it not receiving some exclusives anymore. So the Quest 1 is not going to be on this list today, as I think most of us already know the answer to where this is going to list on this ranking. So instead of making a 2-hour long, overly statistical video detailing every single VR headset to ever exist, for you, I'm laying out the most influential and currently prominent VR headsets that you should consider buying into a good old classic tier list for you guys to easily understand and help make your decision into the VR world just a little bit easier. And talking about making things easier, Synthriders have made it even easier for you guys to get their game for totally freaking free by giving the biggest chimp on YouTube, me, another key to give away to you guys. If you want to win, just drop a comment down below on what your own VR headset tier list is, and of course having liked and subscribed, as I'll be picking users from my subscribers list. Synthriders are also hosting a Get Hip challenge that you can partake in now for a chance to win Synthriders merch or $60 in vouchers. Come 1v1 me, bro. So this ranking consists of everyone's favorite and all-round good boy, the Quest 2, the incredibly powerful yet incredibly unreliable Valve Index, the relatively underrated HP Reverb, the PSVR, the forgotten Oculus Go, the relatively reliable Rift S, the younger brother Rift CV1, the pricey Pimax, the government-issued X-Tal, the cosmically unimpressive Vive Cosmos, the destroyer of public respect, the Google Cardboard, and of course the one that then revived that public respect, the HTC Vive. Each headset will get a ranking from S to F, S being the highest rated and F obviously being the worst, and the rankings in this video are a collaboration of my own views as well as polls done through my Twitch streams at twitch.tv/gethip. You see how slick that plug was, baby? Please check me out on Twitch. The X-Tal is a 2560 by 1440 per eye VR headset with an 180-degree FOV, is now commonly used by sections of the military for training, and is developed by Virgineers. What the f does that say? Virgineers. This headset is around $6,200, has automatic lens settings for IPD, hand tracking, voice commands, multicast capability, analyzer, moderator stand, sound filter, pedals, drums, gaming guitar, 6 consoles, 10 computers, bunch of fucking wires. You get the point. This thing is decked out on a stack on a cat no cap, as TikTok says. These specs come at a serious cost though. Not only the $6,200 cost, but also the fact this thing weighs nearly 2 whole pounds. From a specs perspective, this thing would probably be getting an S on this list, but due to the serious weight and serious price tag, this is getting a D. Purely due to this being a more consumer-focused tier list, and I'm sure many of you watching aren't looking for your next headset to use on the fucking International Space Station. Next up is the... This thing has a special little place in my heart due to being the first PC VR headset I ever owned. The Rift CV1 still to this day is a very solid headset in its construction, so much so that I actually prefer the design and feel of the Rift CV1 over virtually any headset out right now. Something about the easy baseball cap mounting and the lightweight helps make up for what it's now lacking in 2021. But not completely, as this thing is now unfortunately lacking a lot. The Rift CV1 has no inside-out tracking, the sensors provided have a pretty spotty track record when it comes to, tracking you, and the resolution is definitely dated. The audio is still leaps better than what is found on the Quest 2 due to its amazing off-ear audio solution. The controllers are pretty similar to current Quest controllers, but with an inverted tracking ring and matte black material. The Rift CV1 is a very serviceable headset, and I honestly miss this thing. It was so goddamn comfortable, and everything besides the tracking just worked. The Rift CV1, dragged down by its age and lack of support, but still strong modern design, gets an A on this tier list. Gonna be honest, kind of biased with that one. It's also worth mentioning that VR Wave that make these awesome prescription VR lenses are doing a Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale from the 25th to 30th of November. So be sure to check them out in the link in the description down below. Next up is the Talk about a love-hate relationship. The Valve Index has an all-around great design, although its weight literally weighs it down on this list as it's almost 2 pounds of weight, and I feel like I need neck realignment surgery from Zuckerberg himself after using this thing. The audio, though, is still astounding. Valve knocked it out of the park with its off-ear audio solution. The FOV is fantastic. It's nothing game-changing, but it's a significant enough bump over other available headsets that it's wow. The comfort and adjustability is also pretty damn good, provided that it actually works. Provided that it actually works can be applied to essentially everything regarding the Index. The Index, even 2 years after its launch, still suffers from copious hardware issues from broken head straps, display failure, audio cutouts, SteamVR becoming broke, base station failure, thumbstick drift, squeaky triggers, broken triggers. I'm triggered. The Index on the surface is a great headset, but with its host of hardware flaws, and at least one of those flaws I listed being experienced by almost every user I've ever encountered at some point, even 2 years after its launch, and no adjustments to its steep pricing and lack of communication from Valve, makes this headset very difficult to recommend going into 2022. Because of this, the Valve Index, for now, at least until these hardware issues are addressed, is getting a D tier on this list. Seriously, I know multiple people who have been through 4 or more pairs of Index controllers due to thumbstick drift. It is insane. Next up, talking of pricier VR headsets, is the Pimax have a range of offerings, all of which being pretty similar besides their resolution, so I'm gonna base this off of my experience with the Pimax 8KX. The 8KX has some seriously crazy specs, with a 170-degree FOV, a 3840 by 2160 per eye resolution, up to a 114 Hz refresh rate, off-ear audio, Fresnel lenses, the ability to add eye tracking and hand tracking capability. The 8KX seems like a pretty ideal headset besides its high $1.4 thousand price tag, and that's without any controllers or base stations. I reviewed this thing earlier this year. Overall, the hardware itself is very impressive, and the 170-degree FOV is truly something to behold. But unfortunately, on the software side, this headset struggles, as even on an RTX 3090, many games struggle to deal with its wider FOV, high resolution, and I ran into a full PC blue screen and a host of performance issues during my time with the headset. And this is made worse by the buggy Pimax software, which in fairness to Pimax has gotten better over the last few years. Pimax, as good and impressive as the hardware is still unfortunately seriously held back by its software, something I really hope to see improve in the future, but for now, the Pimax gets a D tier on this list. Now, this far into the video, and we still don't have an F tier. These headsets are doing pretty damn good. Until now, that is. Let's change this. Next up is the Google Cardboard was unfortunately for many their first experience with VR. The Google Cardboard was literally a piece of folded up cardboard to slot your phone into. This VR headset, if you can even call it a VR headset, had a pretty damn strong push behind it from Google. Enough of a push that this was many's first experience with VR, and for many was also their last. The Google Cardboard off the bat gets an F on this tier list for the damage that it did to the public's perception of VR, and it's worth noting that Samsung with their Gear VR headsets and copious other mobile VR headsets also contributed to this disaster as well, something that we as a VR community are still reeling from to this day. Speaking of mobile VR disasters, next up is the long forgotten. Now, in fairness, the Oculus Go was not a total disaster at all, and was an important stepping stone for Facebook/Meta to get to what we have today in the Quest 2. So those of you that currently own a Quest 2, including myself, have a lot to owe to the Oculus Go, but not enough that I cannot make fun of it here. So let's it's not good. As the Oculus Go was Oculus's first real jump into the standalone VR space and being a hybrid between full VR and a mobile VR headset. Unfortunately, the headset with its pretty meh specs and more importantly, lack of content killed its public appeal pretty damn quickly. This is made worse by, of course, its tight FOV, relatively low resolution, low refresh rate. The Oculus Go gets an F on this list. Next up is the PSVR has a lot to do with where VR is today. I mean, it was one of the first mainstream successes in the VR industry due to its compatibility with millions of PlayStation units already sold and in users' households. The PSVR has a very solid list of exclusive titles, but it has very quickly become dated, and considering Sony's recent patents regarding the future of PSVR devices being able to track you and categorize you based off of how you speak and what gestures you use, I'm honestly genuinely pretty scared for the future of Sony's VR devices as a whole. But for now, the PSVR is definitely an important step for where VR is today. But today, it's definitely looking pretty damn dated with its lower res display, low refresh rate, and light-based tracking. So the PSVR gets a D tier on this list. Next up is the universally and cosmically unimpressive The Vive Cosmos is the successor to the HTC Vive and Vive Pro. It brought inside-out tracking and a new design to the table, but unfortunately the Vive Cosmos was cosmically flawed. From poor tracking, a high price tag, gimmicky features that sacrifice visual quality for the user. This was also during HTC's transition into more enterprise-centric marketing and was stuck between delivering a consumer-grade headset and a full-blown enterprise one, resulting in a painfully confused headset. The Vive Cosmos gets a B tier on this list. Speaking of HTC is the HTC Vive. The HTC Vive was a seriously important step for VR. HTC and Valve teamed up to develop this glorious headset, and it definitely had its problems, like the poor head strap that would cause a serious VR face irritation, overall hefty and unbalanced weight, the need for lighthouse tracking, and obviously in this day and age, the resolution is now seriously lacking. But the HTC Vive introduced many to VR and was one of VR's first headsets to be truly taken seriously and paved the way for things like the Index and the current state of consumer VR that we have now. The HTC Vive, due to its historic meaning, also gets a D on this list. So next up on this list is the relatively underrated The HP Reverb released to pretty middling reviews, and it definitely wasn't affordable enough to compete with the Quest market. I didn't quite have the features to compete with the Index either. But over time, the HP Reverb gained a lot of popularity in the sim racing community due to its high resolution, relatively lightweight, its inside-out tracking, as well as having many of the features of the Index, as HP joined forces with Valve to develop it. As the HP Reverb has the same audio solution as the Valve Index, and the Valve developed lenses, and a very similar head strap design and material, and is now just priced at $400. The HP Reverb has very quickly become a total steal for a lot of sim racers not quite looking for a full room scale VR experience. The HP Reverb gets an A on this list. Next up is everyone's favorite Quest 2 comparison device. I've mentioned this thing in the past, but the amount of constant messages that I get asking me if this headset is better than the Quest 2 is absolutely insane and still goes on to this day. I'm starting to believe that I've slipped into an alternate pocket dimension where only people ask me about the fucking Rift S versus the Quest 2, even though the Rift S has a lower res display than the Quest 2, is locked to 80 Hz, has a faulty microphone, lacks wireless support, and is now completely discontinued and no longer supported by Oculus/Facebook/Meta. I still see somehow users buying this headset over a Quest 2 purely because it's marketed specifically as a PC VR headset. The Rift S, even at launch, was dropped like a hot potato by Oculus/Facebook due to their focus on the Quest platform. The Rift S on its own is not a bad headset, but due to it quite literally being dead now and no longer being sold and continuously causing confusion within the VR community, the Rift S unfortunately gets a F on this tier list. Feel free to scream at me and tell me to go f myself about it in the comments down below. Now finally, the reason that many of you motherfuckers are even here, the Pocket Rocket, the Lawsuit Larry, the CIA listening device, the Metaverse Manipulator, the Sunscreen Supremo, the Oculus Quest 2 still to this day is front and center in the VR community with its higher than index resolution, 120Hz refresh rate, PC VR capability, host of exclusive games, mainstream appeal, and low price tag. The Quest 2, as we all know, is a very solid headset. Now, what it means for the future of humanity as a whole, with Meta's plans for the metaverse and its data collection capability, is a totally other rabbit hole to go down. Focusing on just hardware, the Quest 2 obviously gets an S tier on this list. And again, if you want to win that Centritis key, just drop a comment down below on what your own VR headset tier list is, as well as having, of course, liked and subscribed. I'll be picking users from my subscribers list. Thank you for getting to this point in the video. I really do appreciate it. You keep the watch time nice and high, and you're the reason why these videos even get recommended. So I know I say this every single video, but seriously, thank you so much for watching this far. I don't know what to say because I'm stupid and I can't make words fast enough to say how much thank you. Yes, thank you. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Bye-bye. Also, I'm not gonna say it, okay? I know I say it every time I do an outro, but I am gonna say it. I lied. Please check out my Twitch. I really like talking to you guys live, okay? Link in the description. Please give it a look. Give it a hang out there. My Discord just got partnered. Come talk to me in my Discord. I'm happy to respond to you and chill in there. Please join my Discord. Thank you. And please follow me on Twitter because I make Twitter posts, okay? And please follow me on Instagram because I make Instagrams, okay? Thank you. All right, bye-bye. I'm gonna go work on this video. Peace. Ha 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 ha.